So the last video, I spoke about some of my final thoughts on the hazards of how MLMs manipulate you. But a lot of that was the sum of a lot of the previous points from the previous videos. I'm more excited about this topic because if there's any way to get people out of MLMs and to get away from MLM culture, it's with the wisdom of finding that there are more options out there to be an entrepreneur, to make money, that don't have to be a part of the MLM ecosystem of leadership and culture and all of that entrapment that sets you on a path for personal destruction or compromised ethics. So let's get into the 5 ways you can make money outside of the entire MLM thing. Number 1, reselling products. Several years ago, there was a whole bunch of e-education seminars that traveled across the country teaching people how to resell any products on Amazon. One suggestion they had was to go on Alibaba, talk to the manufacturer, resell those products from China into the Amazon store, which is why you see a lot of Chinese products on Amazon. One thing that I was going to do, but I didn't have the finances to do it, was to resell 3M products like sticky notes, stuff like that. Because I knew that as the pandemic was kicking into high gear, office supplies from at-home offices were going to make a lot of money. But the thing is, I need a reseller's license. So you still need a reseller's license to qualify for a reseller's account on Amazon. But the thing is, you could still make a decent chunk of money through that type of drop shipment supply chain. So it's a good thing to look into if you're looking to be an independent entrepreneur reselling products. Another way to do it is on Etsy. This is for more of the artisanal side of things, but I've seen people resell jewelry on it that they themselves didn't make. And so that's something that you can also look into. I don't know if Etsy requires a reseller's license, but definitely something to explore if you have the time and have the curiosity and want to try something on Etsy. But that dips into number 2, and that is creating your own products. And on Etsy, you can do that, where if you manufacture your own jewelry, teas, artisanal things can also go into 3D printed models. I've seen people make a lot of money off of selling miniatures and terrain on Etsy using their 3D printed stuff, replicas and such like that. But going into point 2, where you're creating your own products, it also can be you're creating visual design stuff like posters. It can be printed onto mugs, and it can go onto t-shirts. So places like Society6, Redbubble, if you want to get into photography and sell stock photography, places like Shutterstock would be great. If you want to go into self-publishing, I know Amazon has one. Lulu is a great one for print publishing, self-publishing. So these are options that you could venture into. But to be an independent entrepreneur, you easily have the tools out there that don't need an MLM. Sure, you don't have a fully packaged system that's manipulating you into the depths of hell with your finances, but at least you'll be able to learn and fail on your own terms without having an upline. And this goes into point number 3, because for some of these projects, you may need some extra skills that you may need to refine or explore or reaffirm. Maybe you're naturally good at something. And some of these are like copywriting, where you look into the craft and the nuance of how copy operates depending on your target demographic. You can go into visual design, so you can look at the fancy things that you see on Redbubble or Society6 or any other visual design place that you can print goods onto. Programming is another good one if you're looking to program plugins for Chrome or sell your plugins for any other type of software. that's a great place to develop your skills and your way of making money through these types of software. Product management, when you want to offer your management services to other people in order to manage their products or their projects. And SEO marketing, when you're trying to enable all these businesses that are scattered across the nation in being able to sell their services by increasing their visibility on Google. A lot of these things are abundant in possibilities, and you just need to look into what is a marketable skill in today's market. And this dips into the next sequence because let's say you have these marketable skills. Let's say you're trying to build your entrepreneurial venture in one of these funnels that I speak of. Well, it's good to form a community that is not an MLM. Do it on your own terms. Find a professional group on Facebook, meet up with people in person on meetup.com, or meet up digitally on LinkedIn, or even jump even further and gather around a Discord voice and text server. When you engage communities in this myriad, this multimedia way, you build a learning group, a learning system, a support system through networking with others. It can be very intimidating for those who are very introverted, but you really want to create options for yourself because that's the key here to be an entrepreneur is not to expect things, but to give yourself options. And when you create such an amazing network of support people that ultimately should be your friends or people that you can rely on, everyone starts to grow each other. And that's the key with good networks and good friendships is that everyone tries to grow each other, and it dips into the notion where you will only succeed as much as the 5 people that you keep around you. That's an important thing. And I've learned that over time, especially when you value time, you need to accept that you will only grow and you will only care for those 5 people that you hold closest to you. It doesn't mean that you should like slough off all your friendship circles. No, certain people in various different groups that have certain talents, that have certain connections that you need to bond with. It just means that out of all these various social groups that you may have, you have these specific individuals out in all these things that you really hold dear, that you can rely on, that you can grow together on. So that's something to take into consideration when it comes to being your own boss, if anything. And lastly, the one thing that sits outside of social professional groups, and this may appeal to those who are leaning more towards the introverted side, it's independent learning, learning on your own. Some of the resources I've leveraged are Harvard Business Review, MIT has their own magazine, Entrepreneur, Wired, whatever magazine or information source that is relevant to your endeavors is going to help you a lot in building confidence and building that emotional infrastructure because now you're backing it with this constant progress internally as much as externally through groups. And these are some of those resources, like some of the podcasts that I've listened to are regarding how entrepreneurs or businesses that are popular or exist today, how they rose, how they fell, how they learned in their journey. And those have been very insightful. And books, whether you read biographies of influential people, or if you look into instructionals, or if you look into very influential books like Who Moved My Cheese that talk about change, or Ponzonomics, which is about how the entire MLM culture really messed things up in the US and in the world. So many things that you have as resources around us. There is an abundance of resources. And I think what's important about number 5, about learning outside of MLM culture, is not being afraid to take a chance, take a shot at a resource that doesn't rely on an organization that already exists. The possibilities of taking personal accountability as an entrepreneur it may be heavy, but once you get the ball rolling, the reward is indescribable because it is a journey that belongs solely to you and is unique to you. And maybe, just maybe, when you succeed at whatever you intend to do, someone will look up to you and learn from your journey. Man, that can go any which way. With that said, I hope you've gained some level of wisdom from this, and I hope you well. I hope you wisdom, and I'll catch you guys soon in a different location than this. Take care. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate this message, please like, share, and subscribe, as that will help bring this video to a broader audience and support this channel. With that said, I'll catch you guys later.